I've made it to Smoky Mountain National Park. This is the North Carolina entrance just outside Cherokee. This is a farmstead, or what a farmstead would have looked like years ago. Ahead of me, if you can make it out, is the house. There's a smokehouse, and I think there's a small barn back here. We'll go take a look around. Kind of hard to see. I'm inside an orchard. It's a very small orchard. There's a fence around it to keep the elk out, but the house is over here. An old farmstead. It's very, very cool. Here it is, your refrigerator, the spring house. Kind of hard to see from this angle. Water from the spring runs through here, this little trough, into there, and then into the building. And that is how they kept things cool. I am just a little further up the road from the entrance. This is Mingus Mill. It's an old mill reminiscent of the times in the area. We'll get up here and take a look at it. I've walked upstream from the mill. This is the beginning of the mill race, which you can see runs along here. And we'll follow that in a moment. Here's the stream. So this is the water that is diverted to the mill to use to power the mill. The mill is currently not in operation. It normally runs 8 to 10 hours a day, according to the gentleman inside. But he said yesterday it started to make a funny sound, so he shut it down and took it apart. And somebody will be back out probably Monday to work on it and hopefully fix it. You can buy flour here. I believe it's ground at the mill, but I'm not entirely sure. Now, if I had planned better, right here's where you cross over the mill race. You can see it continue on down there to the mill. We'll walk along there for a moment. The mill, one of the pieces of equipment in the mill was shipped in 1886. The mill ran until around 1930 when it was incorporated into the national park system. And in 1937 they did a restoration project on it. I'm guessing it has continually been maintained since then. But Mingus Mill, Great Smoky Mountain National Park. If you get a chance to come here, it's an interesting stop. Now this here is a drop of water. You can see the stream running right here next to the mill. This mill does not have a water wheel. Instead, water dropped down this column and ran a turbine located in there. I believe it's in there, and that is how this was powered. The turbine produced 11 horsepower, and that was enough to provide all the power the mill needed. I am here on the Appalachian Trail at Indian Gap. Trail goes off towards Clingman's Dome back here and off toward Newfound Gap here. Here is Indian Gap, and before Newfound Gap the road was put in, this was the way across the mountain. This was a road. It was widened and turned into a toll road, but it was only about 5 feet wide. I'm not going to walk too far down here today. I'll take a quick look. Still on the Indian Gap Trail. I'm turning around now. I would go further. I was told there's a tunnel down here somewhere, but I don't have the time to look for it. I have a show to attend this evening. Well, the show starts at 8, but there is dinner before the show at 6:30. Which gives me about an hour and 20 minutes to get back to my car and get back to Cherokee. This is the AT. Climbing out of Newfound Gap to the north. It's not very far. It's just I hiked up here a few minutes. I spent the night in my car at Newfound Gap, and I'm gonna head back. I want to hit Clingman's Dome and one other stop, and I'm gonna call it a short day today. Head back before it gets too late. Here we are at Newfound Gap. I won't record behind me because there's a large parking lot there. Nothing to really see unless I walk to the other side of the parking lot. Alright, Clingman's Dome is up that way. This is the Clingman's Dome parking lot. Thought about driving up here and spending the night. Kind of wish I had. This is looking west. Westish. Wow. I did run into a couple of guys who are going to hike part of the Mountain Sea Trail, about 22 miles over 7 days. Or 3 days, I'm sorry. 22 miles over 3 days, about 7 miles a day. Little visitor center up here. And we'll see you at the top. Unless something interesting happens before then. I'm still on the trail up. This trail's half a mile long and increases in elevation 330 feet in that half mile. Looks like the top is socked in. The last time I was on this trail, I had fallen earlier and injured my foot. And walking up this trail was agony, even though I was in better shape. I'm happy to say my foot feels fine right now. And even though I'm huffing and puffing like a locomotive, I'm really enjoying myself. The AT.
This was honestly so worth it. Oh yeah. Oh man, look. Now that what? Like the clouds moving through the mountains all the way around. Catch a Stockholm syndrome. Please just keep it up, bro. Yeah. The sun's over there.
This is the Spruce Fir Nature Trail along Clingman's Dome Road. They say it's about 4/10 of a mile long, allow 45 minutes. Grades can exceed 12%. Well, so far the 12% grade is a myth. However, this trail is definitely not ADA accessible. This is Webb Overlook, and between the trees you can see Clingman's Dome. You probably can't see it in the video. The observation tower is just barely visible. It is cleared up nicely.